Becky, do you want to kick us off from Sky, please?
Well, good morning, everyone. In fact, it's the afternoon now, isn't it? Hi.
Hello, Becky.
Can we just start off, if that's okay, with the team news?
Well, we've obviously had a couple of injuries, and I don't think Mick's going to make this game. But I think apart from that, we're not too bad.
Cool. When you look at Leicester City, you're 4 points adrift from them. Just how important is this game for you?
Well, no more important than winning at Wolves the other night, Becky. But it's the next game, and the next game is always the most important. So we'll treat it the same way. We'll try and approach it in the same manner, and hopefully we come out with the same result. And
what do you think the main threats are from this side?
Come on, have we got enough time to talk about Leicester's main threats? They've got, they're an incredibly good side. They're doing really well this season and have done for a while now. They're in the semi-final of the Cup, so we're up against a top team and a team who's been competing towards the top end of the leagues for quite a few seasons now.
Obviously, Jesse Lingard is in great form at the moment. How confident are you that you can hold on to him next season?
I don't know, Becky. We've not spoke about it, so we're taking it. We're enjoying having him. He's been great around the place. We really enjoy having him, and I think he's enjoyed his time as well. But we've not considered any more than that at this present time.
Cool. I think I'm allowed one more. I wanted to ask you about racism that we've seen, obviously, in football over the last few months or so. Some of these sides now having a social media boycott. What do you think of that? And do you think it's something that perhaps West Ham will do in future?
Well, it's something the club will just not tolerate at all. There's a 0% tolerance here. We just won't have it. I think the club will make the decision regarding social media, etc., and what's going on. But I think it's really important we make a stand and make sure that everybody realises that racism's not for MD, and it can't be in the society we're in at this present time.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks, Becky. Anita from PLP.
Afternoon, David. How are you?
Hi, Anita.
I know you just touched on team news. I was just hoping, could you just give us any more information on Declan Rice and how long you expect him to be out for?
No, I won't give you any more information, Anita, to be honest. I'll just say that he's got an injury, as everybody's aware. We'll try and get him back as quickly as we can. So we don't want to put any time scale on it. And no, obviously he's an important player, but when we move on, and we've got other players who we're hoping can come in and help us.
And I wanted to get your thoughts on your last couple of games. Against Wolves, your side managed to hang on to the lead, but how concerned are you that in the last two games, we've seen the opposition get back into those games when your side's had a 3-0 lead?
Yeah, I'm really concerned about that, Anita. I want us to score 5 or 6 goals instead of 3, Anita. So, but we have to say that it's something we have to consider. But we've got an attacking team at the moment. We're trying to keep scoring goals. We know what's at stake. And if the players keep winning 3-2, then why would I tell them to do anything different?
Your side have the joint second best home record in the league. I mean, how close is the London Stadium to becoming the fortress you said you wanted it to become?
It won't become the fortress till we got all the supporters back in. I think when we get the West Ham fans back in and they see the way the team's playing, and the sort of the commitment and the energy the players provide, then hopefully it'll become even harder to come here and get results. We know it's not pleased everybody, but we'll do our best to make it more enjoyable with the team winning if we can.
And finally, from me, you did touch on how well Leicester have done in recent seasons, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on Brendan Rodgers, the job Brendan Rodgers has done, because it is 2 seasons in a row that we're seeing them in that third spot with just 8 games to go.
Yeah, I think the way they've gone about their business and the way they've worked has been very good. Brendan's done a great job. They're competitive. They're challenging the top teams at the moment. They've certainly broken into the top 6, and that's a difficult thing to say because not difficult, but they won the Premier League only a few years ago, so they deserve to be in amongst that group. But what they've done is they've shown that it's not a one-off. They've built on it. They continue to build on it, and they're having a very good season this year. So it's a tough game, but we also what nobody's mentioned, we went there and beat them up there. So let's see if we can go and do it again.
Thanks, Anita. Emma Jones from BBC.
Hello, David. Actually, on that point, your 3-0 win at the King Power, only Liverpool have been able to equalise that performance, and nobody has done better than that against Leicester this season. Is that pleasing in terms of what you know you can achieve, but also slightly concerning in that you know how difficult Leicester are, to play?
Well, I hope that we can do it again, but it shows the levels the players have played at that we can do that. And there's not many teams gone and given Leicester as tough a game as probably we did on that day. I hope we can show it again. I actually believe Leicester have improved since that period, but I also think we've improved since then as well. So hopefully we can try and give them a really good game. We played well up there, and I'm hoping for a bit more of the same.
If Mark Noble plays, it will be his 400th appearance in the Premier League. That's some achievement, isn't it? And especially all of that with West Ham, and the fact that he's still playing and still doing a job for the club.
It's great, Emma, because to be at one club and play 400 Premier League games is some doing. When you work out how many years you have to be there, and the consistency you've got to have. Injuries as well plays its part in players' careers. So it's a great achievement. He's reached an awful lot of milestones at West Ham because of his loyalty and his consistency as a player, and we're enjoying him at the moment. He's a really good captain for us, and played well the other night.
I suppose 2 questions in one. Do you think he could potentially become a part of West Ham's coaching staff? And how pleased are you with the coaching staff you've got at the moment and everything? Obviously, it's not, just a one-man job, what West Ham are achieving at the moment.
No, I have an excellent staff. If you talk about the Leicester game, Alan and Piercy, Kevin and Paul were all part of it, who went up and got the result when I had the virus, and the game against Wolves as well. So the staff have done a brilliant job when they've been called on, but they're continually doing a good job because we work close together. I need them in different areas at the club. So, I couldn't give them enough praise for the way they've worked and the way they've helped me. And I do see Mark becoming part of the staff in the future. But while he's still playing well and contributing in that side of it, we want him in that area. But I've got no doubt Mark's future career will be somewhere at West Ham. What's that in? I don't know exactly. But I've got no doubt he'll be in and around the club, Emma.
Thanks, Emma.
Thank you.
Ian at TalkSport.
How you doing, Ian?
Hiya. Hi, David. How are you?
Good, thank you. Nice and sunny today.
Say again?
Nice and sunny today, as you can see.
It normally is down here in London. This isn't Glasgow, Mikel Antonio's injury, however long he's out for, be it just this weekend or 2, 3, 4 weeks or however long, do you think you'll kick yourself at the end of the season if you don't finish top 4 and he misses a large portion of it that you didn't get that striker in January?
No, I chose to bring in Jesse Lingard instead.
Yeah, he was a good addition. I'm just wondering. I'm just putting it out there. Right, Leicester won the title at 5,000, 10,000 to 1, whatever it was, a few years ago. And they now have the yardstick for a club like West Ham, who are knocking on the door of the top 4 this season of what can be achieved by a club outside the perceived top 6.
I think Leicester are a really good model for a lot of clubs. I think the recruitment's been very good. I think there's been a stability at the club. We hear quite often about overseas owners going in, but I have to say their owners have been a great credit to the way they've gone about their work at the club. I don't know the club that well, but I can only see it from a distance. And they won the league a few years ago. They're continually competing. They're looking to bring in young players for the future, which obviously complements the very good experienced players they've got at the club already. But when their times come to move on, I think they're building already another team underneath that as well. So they've done great, Leicester, and I think Brendan's done very well as well in the 2 or 3 years he's been at Leicester.
Just a couple more. One on Mark Noble, as already pointed out, 400 games. One of the most underrated of the long servants of the Premier League era. I mean, a lot of people mention the John Terrys and the Jamie Carragers, etc., Stephen Gerrards, but they don't tend to mention Mark. Why is that? Because I think he's had an outstanding career, hasn't he?
Oh, I don't think there's anybody would ever question. Certainly not in our business or in sort of players or managers would ever question how great a career Mark Noble's had. To the loyalty, the games he's played, the years he's been at the club. So I think he might not be mentioned in that group because you mentioned players who've won, European Cups and Premier League titles. But you couldn't question Mark Noble's loyalty and his consistency to come up with those games and his longevity, which is a big thing now in football and especially at one club. So I think he should be mentioned in around those names, but probably from a different perspective.
And finally, on the social media abuse that players have been getting. I mean, listen, I've been known to send out the odd tweet and the odd Instagram post, not too many. You've never done social media, but players also do. I mean, like, for example, this week I've been watching Declan Rice's recovery on social media with the pictures that he's been putting out. So there is good in terms of the players being able to talk to the fans via social media. How can this problem be solved?
Well, I'm probably not the one to answer the question because I don't do social media. But what I do know is that football players through the pandemic done incredible things through social media. The amount of sort of charities they helped, the food banks they donated to. So I have to think that there's an awful lot of good things through social media as well. But I don't think that MD should take any abuse. I don't see any reason why you would allow yourself or you should be put in that position. So at the club, we won't have any of it. They deal with it very swiftly if anything like that happens. So as I said, I'm not an expert to talk about it, but I can't see any reason why that should be allowed.
Thanks, Ian. Cameras off, please. We'll go to Dailies. Jack, do you want to kick us off, please?